perfect. Hello, fellow witches and wizards. My name is PhoenixGinny, and welcome to the stream. Welcome to Sherlock Holmes versus Jack the Ripper. Welcome back to Sherlock Holmes versus Jack the Ripper. Sorry, my camera is being weird. Okay, I don't understand. I don't understand. Okay. I just feel like it's not centered. That's bothering me. But I try to center it and then it moves. Hi, Julia. Okay. Hi. Yeah. So we're getting back into it. Back into the game. We might finish it today. I don't know. Hopefully. Yeah, depending, I don't think, if we do finish it, it'll probably be at the end of the stream. I don't know how much longer we have. But if I do finish it, I would like to start, the Testament of Sherlock, but I don't think we'll do that this stream, but we'll see. Hi, welcome to the stream, especially if you're new. You can speak to me live in the comment section right over there, unless you're watching it on your phone, in which case it's down below. Please leave a like on the stream. It helps, tells YouTube that you like it, and it'll share it with other people. The more likes that it gets, even if you're watching the stream after the fact, still like it. It still helps. Or like the video that I post about it later. Also, click subscribe if you haven't subscribed already, and click the notification bell so you can be notified the next time I go live or upload. I will be going live tomorrow at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for my Storytime Saturday, which we will finally be reading chapters 2 and 3 of Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets. Been postponing that a lot, I know, but we're Lord willing, we're doing it tomorrow, finally. If you're new to this game, just be advised that it does have some mature content. It's not too bad, honestly. It's just a little gory, a little bit. The game handles it pretty well. It's really kind of cartoony, and it doesn't show you the really bad stuff. Like, the next murder is the worst victim for Jack the Ripper, where he completely, well, you'll see. And you won't see. It doesn't actually show us the body. It doesn't even show us like a cartoon version of the body. It's so bad. So they just kind of do a little cleaned up clay version of it. It's much better than it could have been. But if you're not into that, if you're not into this dark subject matter of, we're not killing prostitutes, but we are, discussing the bad parts of London at a particularly bad time. So if you're not into that sort of thing, skip this stream. But otherwise, let's get into it. Finishing up my favorite Sherlock Holmes game, hopefully today. And I was really stuck last time. I was actually kind of frustrated. I can't promise that this will be any better. Because I did look this up. Like, as soon as I ended the stream, I watched somebody else's video on this, and they struggled just as bad. So I don't really have an answer for this. For whatever reason, it's really finicky, and we need to create an ellipsis that includes these two locations, and it has to have this inside the circle as well. But it's so finicky that I don't know exactly. Like, to me, that's great. Why not? Why can't we just go with that? But no, it doesn't like it. And I'm kind of afraid that it'll never, there's no skipping this. Like, in the newer Sherlock Holmes games, you can skip puzzles, thank God. This isn't one of the newer ones. You can't skip this. So I just hope and pray that I get this. I looked up the solution. Oh man, that's almost perfect. I looked up the solution and that's not gonna be it. Maybe if I just keep going. Like, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. That's not gonna be right. I don't know what the game wants from me. I really don't. I don't remember struggling so bad with this when I first played it. We want to create an ellipsis that shows the relative area of where Jack the Ripper lives. Probably. That one's not going to be right. I don't know. They all seem good enough to me. Oh, that seems perfect. That one looks perfect to me. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe I should look it up again. I'll try. Yeah, I don't know any other way to do it. Jack the Ripper walkthrough. Game Boomers all the way down to the bottom. There's a picture of it. No, we still got a few puzzles. We still got a few things to do. I don't know why. I feel like I've done a circle that... circle that goes through that one, but includes... No? No. It's not even that big of a circle, according to this walkthrough. Like, the bottom of the circle only comes to about here. Well, that's not right. That's not right, so I need to go up then. Must be warm weather. I'm getting bugs in my house. See, even that's... No. That's too high. That's a little too high, too. Nope, still too high. Well, no, too high. Maybe about there. So, no, too high. Yeah, okay, so about here. Hopefully I remember that. So about here. It goes right through her, but only on the edge of her. So then maybe it's slightly over this way then. No, that's too far. No, that's not right. No, that's not right. Maybe it's too far. We'll go over here. See, I feel like that one might be right. I don't think it counts it if you have more than one on there. Of course, I don't know, so. You'd think that that would be perfect. That looks perfect to me. Also, this circle looks smaller. It doesn't include this part of the X. That's weird. Maybe it has something to do with the resolution of my computer. You know what? That could be it. It might have something to do with the resolution. What if I... What if I messed with the resolution? Which is gonna be disastrous. 640, 480. I don't know. Maybe we want to turn it down? Yeah, second. It should already be on the second monitor, because it is on the second monitor, so I don't know why it's... I don't know what it's doing. I don't know. I don't know what any of this means. I don't know. Let's see what that does. Okay. Yeah, it's gonna be a little messy for a second. Oh, it moved it. It moved my stuff. Oh wow. You guys can't see that at all. Because I told OBS to record the other side. Okay. Let me go to monitor 2. There. Accept. Accept. Okay. Exit. Oh wait, let me try again. Oh man, it's causing my monitor to flicker. Okay. I'm gonna try it. Okay. No, that's not right. I do think I'm onto something here. Because it looks better already. No, that's not right. That's not right either. No. No. It's not. I'm trying to figure out where. No, that's not right. So not there. Over here. No, that's too far that way. What about right here? No, I don't understand. Okay, this is driving me nuts. My monitor is flickering. Okay. Okay. Okay, I don't know where to go. No, it's come on, that's like perfect. I don't understand why I can't make it look like this. The circle doesn't include the X spot. No, it's too far to the right. That is perfect. That is perfect. How could that not be the answer? I don't know. I'm gonna try the resolution again. I don't know what to do. Let's try that. I don't know. It's even better for you guys. I think. Well, you can't really see the bottom. Well, I'm not keeping it like this. I just need to finish this puzzle. Doesn't look right. Ugh. I don't know what to do. What if I can't finish this puzzle? What if I can't? What if I don't get this? I don't think the resolution's right. Oh, let's try that one. No. That is perfect. That is perfect. I don't understand why it doesn't like it. I don't understand why it's not accepting it. Still not right. Like, this bit is right from the picture, but this bit isn't. I don't understand. Click the wood compass at the center of the green line connecting Mitre Square and Dutfield's yard. Extend the line out to have these two places at the ends. This makes a yellow ellipsis. No, it doesn't. I don't know. I don't understand. I might have to watch the walkthrough, because I don't understand.
Glee wax strips are so effective.
stop. Okay. Okay, so they're putting...
Perfect, Watson. Let's connect each crime scene to the one out of the others that is the furthest.
Yeah, I did that.
You see, Watson, the murders aren't grouped together, but seem to be spread out like cardinal points around a central zone. The killer obviously wanted to avoid returning to the previous scenes of his crimes, assuming that they would be more closely watched, or that he could be recognized.
So, the killer lives at the center of this cross?
In the vicinity, most certainly, but how near? We cannot afford to get it wrong. If you concentrate, Watson, you will notice that the murders are roughly equidistant from the intersection point of the diagonals. Let's focus on the night of the double murder. Remember, Watson, it took us 20 minutes to get from Dutfield's Yard to Mitre Square. Let's draw a line from one to the other.
I did that.
Perfect. We didn't make the trip as the crow flies, but that would not harm our estimate. Let's suppose the killer left Dutfield's Yard at 1 a.m. and arrived at Mitre Square at 1:35 a.m. when he was seen by the two Josephs. If he took 5 minutes to change his clothes, that leaves a range of 10 minutes to determine where this man's lodgings are. We must determine the area in which one can go from Dutfield's Yard to Mitre Square in less than half an hour. To do this, let's draw an ellipsis. The length between Dutfield's Yard and Mitre Square corresponds to 20 minutes. By adding half, we get a distance of 30 minutes. By taking the two right segments, each starting from the two murder scenes, and which the sum of the lengths makes 30 minutes, we get our ellipsis.
Okay, so they draw it. Where do they put it? Put it on the line. So that doesn't work. Yeah, no, that's not gonna work. No, that doesn't work. No, they're doing it completely wrong. No. They're essentially doing the same thing over and over. None of these are working.
There we are, Watson. Our killer
What? That looks nothing like the... What? That looks nothing like the walkthrough. That's not even close. What is that nonsense? That doesn't look anything like the walkthrough. They have it like way out here.
There we are, Watson. Our killer lives in this area.
It's
What?
still rather a vast area, Holmes.
That's crazy.
Yes, indeed. And our goal is to reduce this area as much as we can.
I don't care anymore.
We must consider the fact that the murder at Mitre Square was committed under a
Stupid.
certain amount of pressure, given that the killer knew he was wanted for the acts he committed not long before. We can assume that he had to do it in a safe zone, that is, an area not far from where he lives. This is especially true of an act such as the graffiti he carried out after 2 murders. Let's trace a circle around this point, with the distance separating it from Mitre Square as the radius. This will enable us to determine our killer's safe zone.
Okay, I have no idea what that means.
Our killer must surely live inside this circle. Now, let's intersect it with the ellipsis that we previously determined.
Okay, so the killer zone, this part's really cool. The killer zone has to be within the yellow ellipsis and the red ellipsis. That area right there.
There we are, Watson, the Aldgate district.
Shouldn't we inform the police so that they can concentrate their efforts on this area of Whitechapel?
It is probably already crawling with inspectors, Watson, and I doubt that they would take us seriously, even if they were willing to listen to what we had to say.
Let's focus instead on understanding the killer's modus operandi. We know our murderer preys on prostitutes who are penniless, weak, sick, or alcoholic, that he distracts them the moment before killing them, and that he left an anonymous message inciting anti-Semitic hatred at the entrance of a building occupied by Jews. How would you describe this man?
Angry.
What a coward.
Indeed, he is a person of great cowardice. Let's look at his murders, and in particular, the depredations on the corpses, putting aside that of Liz Stride, because on
Yes,
that
he was
occasion
interrupted.
his work was left unfinished. If we recall the observations made on the victims and the parts that were mutilated or damaged on
That's
each
an
of the
actual
bodies,
picture
without
of
forgetting the
Elizabeth
fact that he
Stride
also
in
removed
real
one or
life.
more organs, we can ascertain that our killer evolves during the course of the murders, cowardly and still evolving. And yet, look at the location of our first murder, that of Polly Nichols in Bucks Row. It is the most distant from the area our killer would appear to live. Perhaps this murder was preceded by another within the killer's area. I believe a cowardly killer would commit his first murder in an
the area
area close to his home in order to find refuge as quickly as possible on carrying out the
A
act.
place that's familiar.
Holmes, an idea just occurred to me that fills me with dread. This evolution of which you speak.
He will pursue his next victim as long as the conditions permit him to continue killing Watson.
But how could one go even further in this horror?
Well, don't
Look at
ask.
what he did to that woman, Catherine Eddowes.
In order to avoid having to answer that question, we must act with haste and planning. Watson, I suggest you inform yourself on the mutilations sustained by the victims. We played with the idea that this could be an act of vengeance against prostitutes. If the mutilations correspond to areas affected by a specific pathology, perhaps the killer wanted to give an eye for an affliction he felt the prostitutes he knew were responsible for.
And this trail leading to Dr. Tumblety Holmes?
I also have a few things to look into in the meantime. I still have a primary witness to track down, not to mention old trails I've yet to pursue. See you soon, Watson.
Okay.
When we first spoke about the Bucks Row murder with Watson, he was reading a newspaper, The Star, dated September 1st, 1888, I believe, which mentioned similar murders in the preceding months. I have no chance of finding the police reports, but perhaps I could find some information at the Central News Agency. I must go there at once.
And do a
Afterwards,
fun
I'll go
puzzle
back
over
to see
there.
Abraham, the owner of the pet shop in Whitechapel. The second Joseph's statement would lead me to believe that he may know the man spotted on the corner of Church Passage that night. If that's the case, I must find this witness so I can question him.
Okay. Alright. I'm gonna change the resolution, because while I can see perfectly, you guys are missing, like, a quarter of the screen, especially since you can't read the bottom, so I'm gonna go put it back to where it should be. It should be on screen 2. I think that's what it should be. Maybe. That doesn't make sense, does it? Let's see what it does. Oh, no. I almost didn't save it. Oh no. I'd be so mad. Oh no. No, no, no. Alright, let me move that over. That looks better. There you go. Now you can see the whole thing. No. Alright. So now we're going to the... I think you can see the whole thing. Yeah, I think so. No. That's not what I wanted. I wanted the map. There we go.
Ah, Bulling is there. It won't hurt just this once.
To what? Talk to him?
Hello, Mr. Bulling. So, did your colleague tell you about the tip?
What tip?
Ah, I see. I gave him an explosive tip and he went without you? Oh, that's not very sporting on his part. No doubt he took all of the credit for his discovery.
You're winding me up, eh?
I'm showbulling something to make him believe me.
What do you want?
I'm not winding you up. The proof is that he gave me this advance on the debt.
The traitor! He owes me, if I find him.
Before I leave, can you do me a favor?
Heck, tell me.
I'm looking for some reliable info on the murders committed in Whitechapel in the months before Polly Nichols' attack.
Reliable? Ha! You really think you'll find that here? Fine. I'll be honest with you. We have folders that group the dispatches from the current year into categories. In the police law category, you'll find the transcripts from the trials and investigations that we sell to the newspapers that ask us.
Perfect.
Sadly, I am out of time. I'll leave you to solve it, eh? You're the detective, aren't you?
Indeed. Okay, so the dispatches are actually mixed up, and we gotta put the categories right. It's kind of
The
a logic
dossiers are full of papers
puzzle.
in dated envelopes. I can't open them. That would be too obvious. How can I tell which compartment to look in? No categories are indicated.
Yeah, we have to figure it out. That's the puzzle. But there's clues.
An envelope is torn. I can tell that this dispatch contains economic information.
Okay, so economy goes there. It's pretty much the only one we can figure out right away, though. But there's clues around the office to help you figure out what goes where. Dear Ferdinand, I am confirming my presence on Friday evening at the club. It will be with pleasure because I must get my mind off things or risk falling into a black depression. Just imagine the new laddie still has the favors of Janet. But she'll end up forgetting him and giving in to me because I'm not lacking in ideas to get rid of her suitors. Yesterday I randomly placed a few inventions and science with politics dispatches. After all, they are always harebrained items. Given that the compartments are one on top of the other, it could have easily passed as one of the new lad's errors, and, as anticipated, he was called in by the boss. As soon as I have the chance, I will show him how, like in the news, everything's in the balance. He looks like a half-wit. You could easily confuse the politics with the society section on his right, and this latter with economy, which is its neighbor. What a lovely mess. I don't know how an intelligent girl like Janet can like a swat like him, but he doesn't have much longer to smile. So we have that clue. To improve the dispatch filing, propose major info up high except news and brief, minor info down low except police law. I don't know what that says. Something in future. Propose also to invert news and brief, which is for the moment up high, and police law, which is actually down low. Furthermore, the weather section is almost always empty. Put it with news and brief. Oh, there's another one. Oh no. My dear George, your little brother has had some misfortune. My first week of work was very grueling. First, I was given a spot far from the stove, and I am very cold in the morning. Next, I have to sort through the dispatches, the most tedious and boring work imaginable. Once the work is done, I must take each envelope to the journalist in question, who won't even deign to look at me. Finally, at the end of the third day, the boss called me to his office to give me a sermon. It seems that I had mixed up the dispatches. I was so worn out that could only protest half-heartedly. He gave me a second chance, so now I'm in a sticky situation. The only hopeful note comes from my colleague, Miss Philvin, a charming young woman who is the only one to give me a smile. She helps me as much as she can and tries to prompt me regarding which compartment I should put my dispatches. Because everyone here knows the order of the sections, but no one has bothered to tell me. The lady has so much compassion and slides me notes such as politics and society are on the side. Sports is underneath economy. Personalities is at the end of the row. Front page news is the first compartment, etc. And these confidences are almost words of love from her mouth. I don't think that she likes placing the envelopes on the desks at all because she ends up with some thanks that are very disturbing. I have volunteered for the task, much to everyone's displeasure. Nothing new concerning my landlady, but I managed to pay her for the week, and she consented to keep me. Don't say anything about my troubles to Mumsy. I don't want to alarm her, but not wanting to lie to her, I have chosen not to write. With warmest regards, your brother Albert. Okay, there's that one. I think there's another one. Stevenson and Psy Enterprises bill repair the wood of the news and brief compartment. £1 payment received 12 July 1888. So that compartment is brand new. It'll look brand new compared to the other ones. Again, more unreadable font. Sir, as the agency receives numerous dispatches, the filing system, what you made appears to be too small, particularly for the world and society sections, which cover too much area and overflow into the boxes below. Police, law, and culture, respectively. Would you be able to furnish a device in order to keep only one filing cabinet? While awaiting your response, sir, please accept our best wishes, the assistant director. Oh, I can't grab that one? I thought I could. That's weird. Okay. Is there something over here? Is that all of them? I guess so. Okay. Okay, so well, this one says news in brief compartment is brand new. See how this one's a little different than the other ones. So that one's going to be news in brief. The world and society sections are going to be full, which cover too much area and overflow into the boxes below, and those both are on the top row. So world and society are on the top, and police, law, and culture are on the bottom. That doesn't help me a whole lot. World and society sections at the top. Society. And they overflow into the police and law and culture, respectively, on the bottom. On the side. Politics and society are on the side. Maybe I'm wrong about this one. Politics is on the side. Politics and society are on the side. Sports is underneath economy. Personalities is at the end of the row. Front page news is the first compartment. Front page. Personalities is on the side. What does that mean? I think that one's weather. So weather hardly has anything in it. I don't know what that means. That's not right. Okay. So first compartment. I don't know. Major info up high, except news and brief. Minor info down low. Up high, police and law, which is actually down low. Almost always empty. Police and law down low. Yeah. One on top of the other, inventions in science and politics. Ah, got it. Perfect.
These envelopes contain dispatches of police and judicial
puzzle can be
cases. Now, I need to open them discreetly. I must try to unglue the openings.
Okay, this is a Nancy Drew puzzle. If you've played Nancy Drew Shadow at the Water's Edge, you know how to solve this one. Kinda.
I need something.
Oh, matches.
I need something.
Yeah,
I need
matches.
something.
What?
I need something.
No?
Closed.
What do we need? I don't understand.
I need something.
I don't understand what I'm supposed to do. What? Oh.
Water.
Water.
There. That will provide me with steam. Open, and it looks like I'm in luck. This envelope contains precious information.
Testimony in the Smith affair. Day of inquest, Saturday, April 7th, 1888. Mr. Win E. Baxter, the East Middlesex coroner, held an inquiry on Saturday, 7 April, at the London hospital respecting the death of Emma Elizabeth Smith, aged 45, a widow lately living at 18 George Street, Spitalfields, who, it was alleged, had been murdered. Chief Inspector West of the H Division of Police attended for the commissioners of police. Mrs. Mary Russell, deputy keeper of a common lodging house, stated that she had known the deceased for about 2 years. On the evening of Bank Holiday, 2nd April, she left home at 7 o'clock and returned about 4 or 5 the next morning in a dreadful state. Her face and head were much injured. One of her ears had been nearly torn off. She told the witness that she had been set upon and robbed of all her money. Witness took her to the hospital, and when passing along Osborne Street, the deceased pointed out the spot where she was assaulted. She said there were 3 men, but she could not describe them. Mr. George Haslip, house surgeon, stated that when the deceased was admitted to the hospital, she had been drinking but was not intoxicated. She was bleeding from the head and ear and had other injuries of a revolting nature. Witness found that she was suffering from rupture of the peritoneum, which had been perforated by some blunt instrument used with great force. The deceased told them that at 1:30 that morning she was passing near Whitechapel Church when she noticed some men coming towards her. She crossed the road to avoid them, but they followed, assaulted her, took all the money she had, and then committed the outrage. She was unable to say what kind of instrument was used, nor could she describe her assailants, except that she said that one was a youth of 19. Death ensued on Wednesday morning, 4th April, through parishioners set up by the injuries. Peritonitis. Sure, whatever that is. Margaret Hayes, living at the same address as the deceased, deposed to seeing Mrs. Smith in company with a man at the corner of Farrant Street and Burdett Road. The man was dressed in a dark suit and wore a white silk handkerchief round his neck. He was of medium height, but witness did not think she could identify him. Chief Inspector West, H Division, stated that he had no official information on the subject and was only aware of the case through the daily papers. He had questioned the constables on the beat, but none of them appeared to know anything about the matter. The coroner said that from the medical evidence, which must be true, it was clear that the woman had been barbarously murdered. It was impossible to imagine a more brutal and dastardly assault, and he thought the ends of justice would be better met by the jury regarding their verdict at once than by adjourning to some future date in the hope of having more evidence brought before them. The jury returned a verdict of willful murder against some person or persons unknown. The police are making every possible inquiry into the case, but up to yesterday, 8th of April, had not any clue to the persons who committed the outrage. Testimony in the Tabram case. Last day of inquest, Thursday, August 23rd, 1888. Yesterday afternoon, 23rd of August, Mr. George Collier, the Deputy Coroner for Southeast Middlesex, resumed the inquiry at the Working Lads Institute, Whitechapel, into the circumstances attending the death of Martha Turner, or Tabram, a hawker, lately living at 4 Star Place, Star Street, Commercial Road E, who was discovered early in the morning of Tuesday, the 7th inst., lying dead on the first floor landing of some model dwellings known as George Yard Buildings, Commercial Street, Spitalfields. When found, the woman presented a shocking appearance, there being 39 stab wounds on the body, some of them apparently having been inflicted with a bayonet. Alfred George Crow, cab driver, 35, George Yard Buildings, deposed that he had got home at 3:30 on Tuesday morning. As he was passing the first floor landing, he saw a body lying on the ground. He took no notice, as he was accustomed to seeing people lying about there. He did not then know whether the person was alive or dead. He got up at 9:30, and when he went down the staircase, the body was not there. Witness heard no noise while he was in bed. Police Constable Thomas Barrett, 226H, said that the last witness called his attention to the body of the deceased. He sent for a doctor, pronounced life extinct. Dr. T.R. Killeen of 68 Brick Lane said that he was called to the deceased and found her dead. She had 39 stabs on the body. She had been dead for some 3 hours. Her age was about 36, and the body was very well nourished. Witness had since made a post-mortem examination of the body. The left lung was penetrated in 5 places, and the right lung was penetrated in 2 places. The heart was penetrated in 1 place, and that would be sufficient to cause death. The liver was penetrated in 5 places. The spleen was penetrated, in 2 places, and the stomach was penetrated in 6 places. The witness did not think all the wounds were inflicted by the same instrument. The wounds generally might have been inflicted by a knife, but such an instrument could not have inflicted one of the wounds, which went through the chest bone. His opinion was that one of the wounds was inflicted by some kind of dagger, and that all of them were caused during life. Henry Samuel Tabram, 6 River Terrace, East Greenwich, or Greenwich. I think it's pronounced Greenwich, but it looks like Greenwich. Husband of the deceased woman said he last saw her alive about 18 months ago in the Whitechapel Road. They had been separated for 13 years owing to her drinking habits. She obtained a warrant against him for some part of the time. Witness allowed her 12s a week, but in consequence of her annoyance, he stopped this allowance 10 years ago, since which time he had made it half a crown a week, as he found she was living with a man. Henry Turner, a carpenter staying at the Working Men's Home, Commercial Street, Spitalfield, stated that he had been living with the woman to Bram as his wife for about 9 years. 2 or 3 weeks previously to this occurrence, he ceased to do so. He had left her on 2 or 3 occasions in consequence of her drinking habits, but they had come together again. He last saw her alive on Saturday, the 4th inst, in Leadenhall Street. He then gave her 1s6d, I don't know the currency, I don't know what that is, to get some stock. When she had money, she spent it in drink. While living with witness, deceased's usual time for coming home was about 11 o'clock. As far as he knew, she had no regular companion and did not know that she walked the streets. As a rule, he said, a man of sober habits, and when the deceased was sober, they usually got on well together. Oh my goodness, that's too much. Mrs. Mary Bosfield, wife of a woodcutter resident at 4 Star Place, Commercial Road, knew the deceased by the name of Turner. She was formerly a lodger in her house with the man Turner. Deceased would rather have a glass of ale than a cup of tea, but she was not a woman who got continually drunk, and she never brought home any companions with her. She left without giving notice and owed 2 weeks' rent. Mary Ann Connolly, Pearly Pole, who, at the suggestion of the Inspector Reed, was cautioned in the usual manner before being sworn, stated she had been for the last 2 nights living at a lodging house in Dorset Street, Spitalfields. Witness was a single woman. She had known the woman to Bram for about 4 or 5 months. She knew her by the name of Emma. She last saw her alive on Bank Holiday night when Witness was with her about 3/4 of an hour, and they separated at 11:45. Witness was with Bram and 2 soldiers, 1 private and 1 corporal. She did not know what regiment they belonged to, but they had white bands round their caps. After they separated, Bram went away with the private, and Witness accompanied the corporal up Angel Alley. There was no quarreling between any of them. It goes on. Witness had been to the barracks to identify the soldiers, and the 2 men she picked out were, to the best of her belief, the men she and to Bram were with. The men at the Wellington barracks were paraded before Witness. One of the men picked out by Witness turned out not to be a corporal, but he had stripes on his arm. Detective Inspector Reed made a statement of the efforts made by the police to discover the perpetrator of the murder. Several persons have stated that they saw the deceased woman on the previous Sunday with a corporal, but when all the corporals and privates of the Tower and Wellington barracks were paraded before them, they failed to identify the man. The military authorities afforded every facility to the police. Pearly Pole picked out 2 men belonging to the Coldstream guards at the Wellington barracks. One of the men had 3 good conduct stripes, and he was proved beyond doubt to have been with his wife from 8 o'clock on the Monday night until 6 o'clock the following morning. The other man was also proved to have been in barracks at 5 minutes past 10 on Bank Holiday night. The police would be pleased if anyone would give them information having seen anyone with the deceased on the night of Bank Holiday. The coroner, in summing up, said that the crime was one of the most brutal that had occurred for some years. For a poor defenseless woman to be outraged and stabbed in the manner which this woman had been was almost beyond belief. They could only come to one conclusion, that the deceased was brutally and cruelly murdered. The jury returned a verdict of willful murder against some person or persons unknown.
The information excludes the murder of the first woman, Miss Smith. Jack the Ripper can't be the author of that crime. On the other hand, there are enough similarities to suggest he may be the killer of Martha to Bram. I must go to the pet shop.
Yeah. So, they do believe that Jack the Ripper may have committed some murders before the initial 5. And so that's what we're discovering here, is he probably was the murder of Martha to Bram. The pet shop. That's the brothel.
I must go to the pet shop. Closed until further notice. Abraham isn't there. No luck.
Beep beep.
Good evening.
Oh, good evening, sir.
Do you know why Mr. Solomonovich's shop is closed?
No, I don't. Perhaps his cousin, the cobbler, knows. But I believe the police came to take his animals. I think that might have something to do with it.
When was this?
During the day. The kids you were with the other day were there, they told me. They just came by to ask for some cat's meat. They didn't have any money, but I gave them some anyway.
Is something wrong?
It's just that there was a little girl with them, the same age as mine. My little girl who went away with her mother, with the angels into the sky.
Dr. Watson told me about your loss. Please accept my condolences. Would you like to talk about it? How did it happen?
The illness, sir. My poor little girl was in agony, and her face and body were ravaged by the disease.
Her face?
Yes, she looked like a ghost.
What illness was it?
Dr. Gibbons tried to explain when I took my little girl to see him, but I didn't understand. I'm sure that he was trying to insinuate it was my fault. I'm sorry, but I don't want to talk about it anymore.
I understand. Farewell. Let's go and see Dr. Gibbons.
Yes. He has an explanation. Well, we'll see.
Let's go and see Dr. Gibbons.
We'll see.
Hello, Doctor. Do you remember me? I'm Sherlock Holmes, Dr. Watson's friend.
Oh, yes. Excuse the mess, but I am doing a bit of tidying.
I have come to see you about a Mr. Hardyman, a cat food seller by trade who recently lost his daughter and wife.
Yes, I know him. A tragic story.
Actually, I was hoping you could tell me about the disease that took his daughter, a disease that would have attacked her face.
Well, to keep it short, we are speaking of syphilis, Mr. Holmes. You must certainly know that it is transmitted through intimate connections and that the vast prostitute population here contributes to its inevitable progression. It destroys individuals by spreading through the body slowly. The most obvious symptoms can be found in the genitalia and on the face in the form of pustules or lesions. Sometimes this illness can destroy whole families. The father catches it from a prostitute, he transmits it to his wife, who in her turn passes it to the kids which she bears or nurses. These cases are numerous in the vicinity. Certain children, and this is the case of the little girl whom I won't name, suffer from an emaciation of the face which will, apart from predicting an imminent death, bring infamy upon the family.
Actually,
No,
I was
sorry,
hoping you could...
sorry.
Well,
I clicked on the wrong one. Stop.
Emaciation of the face?
Yes, what we sometimes call the pox. I will give you a photograph. One cannot be mistaken on the origin of such a face. The eyes seem to be void of lids. The nose is inexistent, as if it was cut off. And the cheeks are chiselled, as if cut with a knife. This loss of facial matter, this emaciation, is in this area often the gift from a father to his children.
Can I keep this photograph?
I should destroy it. But if it can remind you that one must sometimes think twice before giving in to physical attraction...
I always seem to find myself alone in such cases. Thank you, Doctor.
Okay. So, he describes the illness of syphilis. It can attack the face if untreated, in which it removes the eyelids, the nose, and the cheeks. Now, where have we seen that before? That's exactly what Jack the Ripper did to Catherine Eddowes's face. When we found her body, that's what he did to her face, was he removed her eyelids, removed her nose, and he cut her cheeks. And earlier in this episode, Sherlock said it's possible that Jack the Ripper is repaying an eye for an eye. He's doing to the prostitutes what he himself is suffering. So it is possible that Jack the Ripper is in this game and was in real life suffering in one way or another from the effects of syphilis.
Let's go to the cobblers.
I find that super fascinating. I love the concept of criminology and just putting the story together. It's just really fun. I love this. I love this game. It tells the story really well.
Let's go to the cobbler's. Hello, Mr. Solomonovich.
Ah, Mr. Holmes. How are things with you?
I heard your cousin Abraham had a problem with his shop. What happened?
Ah, if I didn't know you well, I would tell you that it's Jewish business that doesn't concern anyone but the Jews. But as you have a little bit to do with it, you have the right to know what is going on.
Ah, would I have something to do with it?
Someone had seen Abraham telling you something and making big gestures near the Imperial Club.
Oh no.
A vicious rumor quickly spread, and it has caused him great injustice. A slanderous denunciation attracted the authorities' attention to my cousin's shop. Abraham must be in the process of answering their questions.
I did, indeed, speak with your cousin the other night. I'm shocked at the
That's
consequences of this discussion.
As I was saying, it's the story of the Jews.
Yeah.
In the face of adversity, we are united.
But
amongst ourselves, it's like anywhere else.
Yeah.
As soon as our people take a dislike to someone, for right or wrong, we can be without pity and quite cruel.
This is all very worrying. Your cousin knows one, or rather two, of the men who were at the Imperial Club on the night of the Mitre Square murder. One of the two, a butcher in Aldgate named Joseph, is probably withholding information of the utmost importance. I must find this man. Perhaps you can help me.
But there are dozens of Jewish butchers around Aldgate, half of which must be called Joseph. And you know, Mr. Holmes, we Jews prefer to remain in the background of this murderer business, this Jack the Ripper thing.
I know.
All of London is pointing their fingers at us saying, it's a Jew who disemboweled these women. Our community is in great peril, you know.
There's evidence that it is
That was
a
the
Jew.
business with Lipsky and Leather Apron. I will see what I can do, but I don't promise anything.
I'd be extremely grateful to you. Very well. We may meet again, Mr. Solomonovich.
You are most welcome, Mr. Holmes.
What we do know is
I've
that
paced up and down Whitechapel enough. I should return to Baker Street in order to reflect on the new facts that I have discovered.
what we do know is that Jack the Ripper was either Jewish or he at least has contention with the Jews. He's the one who wrote the message. The Jews are not the ones who won't be blamed for nothing. So he has a problem with the Jews, at least. I guess that doesn't mean that he is a Jew, necessarily, but there's a Jew who knows him, so it's likely he's in the Jewish community. We'll find out in a second. We'll find out in a little bit.
Hello, Holmes.
Good day, Watson.
Listen, Holmes, I know I should have got here sooner to give you a report on my research, but this case has led me to neglect my patients and my wife more than I care to admit.
Yeah, it's okay.
I've been able to sort things out over the last few days, and now I am ready to pursue this investigation.
You don't have to justify yourself, Watson. Whilst I do tolerate you as an observer, and despite your occasional help with more menial tasks, may I remind you that you are by no means an indispensable part of this case.
Oh, you tolerate me as an observer, do you? Oh, you're too much, Holmes. Well, Mr. Detective, despite my absence, I have been working on this case, putting my relationship on the line in the process. And I happen to have a confidential letter that only passed from one lord's hand to another. What it contains is extremely serious and concerns Dr. Tumblety and his collection of uteri.
Let me see
Why do
that.
we still care about him? I didn't think that we even... I think we're pretty settled on the fact that he's not Jack the Ripper. Me lord, be hereby assured of my entire collaboration in the affair, to which I must reply. No one will be able to cast a opprobrium on our institution or ourselves. Our eminent colleagues support our policies, and they won't cooperate with the police as long as the higher interests that we serve aren't menaced. As you mentioned, we must avoid having to explain to the uncultured masses the exegesis of medical research. A general crisis of confidence will result in inevitable amalgamation that the press would hasten to create between this and the hideous murders committed in the East End. To this end, I tactfully evoke the rumor that you mentioned in your letter when I met with my colleagues. It turns out to have grounds, and these are the specifics that I was able to obtain. 18 months thence, an American doctor in London did, in fact, contact certain hospitals. His approach was aimed at getting stocks of feminine genitalia, particularly uteri. He was motivated initially by the finalization of his research and of its publication. The doctor in question wanted to include a uterus specimen freshly conserved in formalin with each of the research dissertations sent to each of the colleagues involved. A large quantity was thus necessary, and this doctor proposed to buy each of the uteri for 20 pounds each. The hospital directors did not pay heed to these demands, of that I have been assured. Between you and I, my lord, who knows what strange consequences would have followed these demands of the American doctor? The rumor of these unusual commissions made the tour of the hospitals in question at the time, and has spread to others since. Simple day laborers employed in our organizations considered that the gain of 20 pounds could justify a theft, perhaps worse. The identity of the doctor is unknown to me, but based on the recall of one of my colleagues, this man had the most impressive references. But after a bit of research that I didn't find the existence of any publication which an eventual correlation on this or the other side of the Atlantic. The man left London shortly after his pitch, it would seem. I cannot help but think that he has perhaps returned to London and has found someone who might furnish him with what he is looking for. So he's looking for a ton of uteri to send to all of the people that helped his research? His colleagues, yeah. Okay.
Excellent. This American could turn out to be of great use to use.
That's right. And that's not all. I did some research and finally found an illness that affects the genitalia and can, in certain cases, cause facial symptoms resembling the mutilations seen on the last victim. It is called, would you believe?
Syphilis.
Syphilis and the emaciation that can be seen in affected children. I have known that for days, Watson.
Really?
Listen, now you're already here, Watson, we may as well continue the investigation. Do you remember the map on which we established the area in which our killer lives? I think we should continue our study.
No. I don't want to go back to that stupid map. But I think I will do that after I take my break. Although I'm really hoping to finish this. Maybe? Should I continue? I don't know. No. No, I'll stop. Okay, I'm going to take a 15-minute break. Now's a good time to get up, stretch, get a drink, get a snack, use the restroom or whatever, and I will be right back. Welcome back. Let's jump into it. Let's continue. Alright, let's look at this map.
Well, I discovered the case of another murder before that of Bucks Row. It happened in George Yard. We shall put it on the map in order to see if it corresponds to our area of research. We must place the murder of Martha Tabram in George Yard on the map. That is where Martha Tabram's murder took place. There's no point going there. I already have all the information we need on that matter. You see, this murder took place in the area in which our killer lives, his safe zone. Nonetheless, there are two major differences between the murder of this Martha Tabram and that of Polly Nichols. Firstly, the blows inflicted are not the same.
And the second difference?
It follows on from a doctor's opinion. He claims 2 weapons might have been used, and if there is one group of people we absolutely must not trust in this business, it's doctors. Don't you agree, Watson?
Watch it, Holmes.
Tabram's murder took place in an area where the murderer, whose cowardice is clear, was able to make a quick getaway, that is to say, near his home. For his second murder, he would have wanted to go further afield, so the police would not link these 2 cases. And as for the other murders, seeing the ineffectiveness of his last one, he headed in different directions to kill his victims while still staying in the vicinity and without going any further than necessary, and all the while planning his escape. My dear Watson, we now know what this man looks like, in what area he lives, and that he suffered directly or indirectly from syphilis. Let's not forget the anatomical knowledge he must almost certainly possess. Given his lower-class background, a butcher seems very likely. However, it may be the case that the man was a butcher once, but is no longer. He might also have been a medical assistant. Who knows? That's why we need the testimonies of the other Joseph and Dr. Tumblety in order to be certain.
What shall we do, Holmes?
As the police's cooperation is futile and can be ruled out, we have nothing to do but wait. Watson, wait, and hope we see one of these 2 men before the killer strikes again.
Okay.
At last, a long day's work done. How are you doing, Holmes?
Fine, Watson, just fine.
I suppose you still haven't heard any news from Whitechapel?
No, Watson.
It's been almost a month now. Who knows? Our killer may have brought justice upon himself, overcome by remorse and ignominy for his actions.
Not a chance, Watson.
You haven't done anything about the story of a kidney that was sent in the post and reported by the papers. Why not?
The killer left a message on one occasion with the intention of harming. The letter accompanying this package served no purpose other than to give value to its recipient and arouse disgust against its sender. The killer has never done anything for nothing. In order to authenticate the Galston Street message, he left an indisputable piece of evidence. Can we really say as much about this kidney?
The kidney
I don't
could have come
know.
from anywhere.
All I know is that there are letters piling up on your desk. Isn't it time to move on to another case?
Absolutely not, Watson. I think that the other Joseph is reluctant to meet me. The man he saw must certainly have put the fear of God in him. A man well known for his violence and his hatred towards Jews. There can't be any shortage of those in Whitechapel. I have hope yet. As for Dr. Tumblety...
We found him, Mr. Holmes. We found him.
Who's that?
Dr. Bumblebee.
Dr.
He's been locked
Bumblebee.
up by the bobbies, but they've let him loose. Oi! He was looking round like a rat who's scared of his own shadow. He's gonna do a runner, he is.
Watson, this is our chance. The game is afoot. Let's hope that Tumblety will go to collect his trunk. As for you, my little friends, thank you for lifting this burden that has been on my shoulders for almost a month.
Okay. So I do believe in the real case of Jack the Ripper, somebody did send a kidney claiming to be Jack the Ripper, but I think we proved that it wasn't actually Jack. It was some knockoff wannabe or something. Where are we on? Tumblety. Dr. Bumblebee.
He is here. The doctor is here, up in his room. Peeking through my door, I saw him go up the stairs, and I think that he has a pistol.
Regarding the trunk, did you do what I told you to?
Yes, I jammed the lock and filled the trunk with stones. Should we call the police?
Absolutely not. Go home, lock your doors, and if you hear a gunshot, shout as loudly as you can. Watson, we must disarm this man at all costs before attempting to confront him. Come, have your pistol at the ready and stay alert.
Okay, let's go.
Don't move a muscle or I shoot.
Who? But what is going on?
Bravo, Watson. I take back everything I ever said about your less than full involvement in our investigations.
Listen, Mr. Policeman. I already told everything to your colleagues at the station, so...
Don't you believe it, sir. We're not with the police. We are here to talk about human organs, an area in which you seem to have a great deal of interest.
What? But who are you?
We are the ones holding the pistol. Listen, Tumblety,
That's
tell
all
us
that's
everything you know
important.
and you will be spared from the noose or a bullet. Have you tried to get hold of any female genitalia from someone during these past months?
So that's it. You English. Listen, as it happens, I do have a collection of female genital organs which I hold dear and never miss the chance to show my friends whatever the occasion. If you knew what I feel when my eyes meet the young men's as they contemplate with astonishment and disgust this soft and flabby skin that they worship and place at the center of all their passions. Women repulse me, gentlemen. They are one of nature's greatest mistakes. Lying, haughty, and most of all, nauseating. No, sirs. Men,
Love you too.
mankind, we are not made to soil ourselves with such animals, and it is my task to educate my peers, like the ancient Greeks used to do, and put them on the path to masculine relationships, the only kind worthy of our intelligence.
My God, this man has lost his marbles, Holmes.
You haven't answered my question. Did you attempt to
Yeah,
obtain
what?
any female organs?
We don't care
Indeed.
about that.
But a long time ago. I was living in Liverpool at the time. A few of my specimens were starting to lose their freshness. But despite the sum proposed, the heads of the university hospitals refused to accede to my demands. The fear of what others would say, certainly. I know nothing more similar to an arrogant fowl than an English doctor. Yakety-yak, always showing off in the courtyard with their haughty airs. And as soon as...
Shut it, Tumblety. So, was it you who killed all of these women? Yes or no?
I regret to say that it was not. If I had really wanted a few more uteri, I would have had them brought in from the United States, where it would cost me much less than here. Or I would
Then
have
why
shown
here?
a few gold coins in the hallways of a morgue or a hospital in London, and they would have kissed my feet to sell them to me, and not taken the least risk. But kidneys are all the latest, aren't they? I think that I could find one tomorrow for less than £1. In short, gentlemen, I do not know your killer, and I don't know why he's doing that. But if you come across him one day, please send him my friendship and my deepest respect.
You are
You've
repulsive.
gone too far this time.
Come, Watson, let's not get carried away now. Thank you for your assistance, Doctor. If I may offer some advice, you should leave England as soon as possible. Each day that you remain in this country is a risk that an intelligent man would not take.
My pistol?
Without that, it will be even more risky.
Okay, bye.
Can we believe this man, Holmes?
He
Yeah.
can't be the murderer, and his story regarding the organs fits. But we can't afford to take the slightest risk. I will ask the Baker Street irregulars to follow him. Listen, lads, when Tumblety leaves here, follow him discreetly and come and tell me as early as possible tomorrow where he is currently residing. Understood?
Understood, Captain.
You are already ready, Holmes. What is going on?
I have been waiting for you for at least an hour, Watson. It would appear that a new drama has unfolded. The youngsters came to give me this address, but I have some doubt as to the actual location we are going to. Let's try anyway. At worst, we may come across the Baker Street irregulars to put us in the right direction.
We are lost, Holmes.
No, we're not, Watson. We are heading for the very street I'd hoped for, but as I wasn't sure it was this one, I've made a few big detours in order to find the right one.
Right.
I'll know it when I see the name.
Why, of course, Holmes. Why didn't I think of that? The great Sherlock Holmes
He
can't...
can't get lost. I don't know what we're supposed to do. We're supposed to go to this man.
How are you, my friend? Are you not feeling well?
No,
My friend is a doctor. He can take care of you.
don't go there. He came here and he...
Now, Watson, take care of him.
Miller's Court, the final murder that we know of. We don't get to see it, so don't worry about it. It's a mess in there. He was indoors, so he had plenty of time to do whatever he
My
wanted to the
God.
body.
What happened?
Can't talk. Wait for the coppers. Are they coming? My eyes are crying.
No.
Go find them too, mister. I'll stay here and keep an eye out. Go!
No, I must await my friend. Ah, here he is.
Oh, Sherlock is a little confused after this
Watson,
episode.
are you there? How are you?
Fine,
a little out
Holmes,
of
and
it.
you? What happened?
Hello, sir. Where are we, Watson?
In Whitechapel, Holmes. This must be Dorset Street.
Dorset Street.
You don't seem very well. Do you need something?
Indeed, Watson. Some clay, a great big piece of clay. I would ask for some wine, too, but as you know, I taste nothing but melodrama.
What is over there?
A
Don't
trip
go.
from which you will never return, Watson. Trust me, don't go there.
Don't go.
A trip? Behind this door? In this room?
It's not strictly a door, it's more of a portal, a threshold, and what lies behind it is not the mortal realm, Watson. It is a place beyond time and space, the gift of a frantic artist who made use of his talent in order to grant us access to his world, Watson. Beyond that threshold is an abyss. Hell. The police won't take long to arrive, and the last thing I want is to waste precious time on them. Could you lead me out of this area and take me home?
Let's go. Nope. Okay. So now he's gonna recreate it in a tasteful way for us. They handled this.
You should come and eat,
very
Holmes.
well.
Mrs. Hudson has worked wonders.
You can't
The
eat
joint
after
has been
this.
cooked medium rare. If only you would tell me what was in the courtyard.
You don't want to know.
The
buddy.
answer, Watson.
The answer, Holmes?
Yes, the answer to a question that you asked me a few weeks ago.
How the devil can the answer to a question I asked you be found in that courtyard? And what question are you referring to, Holmes?
How our killer set about reaching the height of horror by taking another victim, Watson.
How he's escalated. Thank you.
Did I not tell you that I wanted to avoid melodrama?
Do you mean to say that...
Yes, that's what was in that room. You helped towards the colour. All that's missing is the odour, but I shall let that pass. The mutilations almost all resulted in large removals of flesh. My photographic memory noted them all in great detail, the shape, size and location, and thanks to the softness of this clay and your medical knowledge, I believe we can attempt to determine what is missing from this lady.
Don't you think we
He
should
took
wait for the
something
medical
from the
examiner's
lady.
opinion?
Surely not, Watson. This massacre has gone on long enough. I can assure you that I will do everything in my power to get our hands on Jack the Ripper before this night is out.
Yep. Okay. So we gotta figure out what's missing
Watson,
from her.
we shall reconstruct the body of this poor woman and inspect it in detail as well. Your help as a medical man will be invaluable.
Holmes, I feel a bit unwell.
Well, I understand. I will manage on my own. Her throat was slit just like the others. The wound is particularly deep.
Yeah. He had time to do exactly what he wanted with the body. He had time to rip it all up and pretty much take all of her organs out. So now we gotta replace her organs to figure out what's missing. He took out the left breast. I don't know which one's left. My left or her left? Oh, sorry.
There were incisions in the rib cage, as if to inspect the lungs.
Oh, that's the right one. Okay. I don't think it's the rib cage he was after. The liver.
The liver was neatly removed.
Put it in. Is that where the liver goes? I thought the liver was lower than that. Uterus. Where is it? I don't see it. Is that what this is? Spleen, stomach, heart, intestines? I have no idea what this is. Oh, is that the uterus? Okay. My bad. I guess I should know what that looks like. I don't know. Left kidney. Or that, okay, right kidney. Left kidney. Stomach. Where's the spleen? That must be the spleen. I can't pick it up. Help. Ah, help.
An organ is missing, apparently. I must specify which organ this is on my list.
The heart is missing.
There we are, Watson. We have examined everything. The heart is the only thing missing. 2 uteri, a kidney, and now a heart. He had all the time he wanted in which to disfigure her, cut her up like a piece of meat, and yet took nothing but the heart. What do you think of that, Watson? Watson?
Watson?
What? Ha.
I dread to think how you'd react if you saw a corpse. I'm returning to Whitechapel, Watson, to Isaac's. If the heart tells you to come with me, if the heart tells you a little wordplay there. Let's go to the cobblers.
Let's go to the cobblers. Let's go. Quickly. Quickly now. To the cobblers.
Let's go to the cobblers.
Beep, beep. Evening, Mr. Holmes.
Good evening, Hardyman. Has Abraham Solomonovich still not reopened his shop?
No, not that I know of.
Have you heard anything about the latest murder?
Certainly there is talk of nothing else.
Poor girl.
Poor girl. I
Mary
hope they
Kelly,
catch the
I believe her
bastard
name
who did
was.
it.
Who do you think that could be?
A madman, that's for sure. Everyone in the area is pinning it on a
Pay
Jew.
attention to this.
But I don't believe that for a second.
No, why?
Because Jews don't like blood, you see. They're not allowed to eat it.
Yep.
And they have to drain the meat before cooking it. It's true that they eat animals, but they are fanatical about all kinds of silly things.
Right.
I don't know much about their rituals and all,
Kosher.
but I know that a Jewish butcher can't just do whatever he pleases with his knife.
Right.
He has strict kosher rules to follow.
You seem to be very well informed.
He has
Well, I buy my meat from them too. My clients don't care whether the meat comes from Jews or not. Cats eat it regardless. And let me tell you, I'd go as far as to say that I may even have more faith in a Jew, because even if they don't eat all the offals, a Jew inspects them to see if the animal was in good health. Lungs, for the most part, and as they make up most of my cat's meat, you can see the connection, right?
to be. Jews eat offals.
Jews are allowed to eat offals?
Yes. They eat calves' kidneys, I think.
How big is that? A calf's kidney?
Ah, well, that depends if it's fresh or if it's been marinated in brine or cooked.
When fresh, are they as big as
A human kidney?
kidney?
They would be, yes.
You know, Mr. Hardyman, it's lucky for both of us that the murder that took place in your mother's courtyard was only the Whitechapel killer's third. Had it been the first, I wouldn't be thanking you, as I'm doing now, for all of this important information. Goodbye and take care.
If you say so. Right, farewell, Mr. Holmes.
Let's go to the cobbler's.
It's important information for later. They eat offals, and offals, I think offals are like another word for organs. So they eat kidneys. And a calf's kidney is the same size as a human kidney. How would that be useful information if you're Jack the Ripper? What might Jack the Ripper try to do? What is the point of him taking these organs? What's he planning to do with the organs? Is a better question.
Good evening, Mr. Solomonovich.
Evening, Mr. Holmes. If you've come about the business of my cousin, I hate to say...
Before you respond to my request, I must ask you to answer this question of the utmost importance. What offals are Jews allowed to eat?
Well, the same as you.
Kidney, heart, liver?
Yes.
How are they prepared?
Kidneys are boiled, heart is often finely sliced and cooked on a skewer, and liver is always grilled.
These offals, do they come from cattle?
Yes, beef or veal.
And eating non-kosher food would be a grave affair for a Jew, isn't that right?
Yeah.
Yes, it would be very serious. But what are you getting at?
If I were to tell you what I'm thinking, Mr. Solomonovich, you would pull out your own eardrums to not hear the end of my sentence. It goes against the beliefs of hundreds of members of your community, and for some, perhaps even worse. I will ask you one last time before involving the authorities, who I assure you will be far less discreet than myself. Do you know who the second Joseph is, the Aldgate butcher, who your cousin knows from the Imperial Club?
His name is Joseph Chaim Levy.
Joseph
But I don't know where he lives. I know nothing about him, other than he's a member of the Imperial Club on Duke Street.
That street is after Church Passage, coming from Mitre Square. Am I right?
That's it.
Thank you. You have been an enormous help to both of us. Now, listen carefully. I need you to find 4 or 5 strong men among the members of your family who you trust wholeheartedly, and to wait here with them until my arrival, or you receive a message from me. Is that clear?
But if you will tell me...
Later, Mr. Solomonovich. Later.
He's doing it for the sake of the Jewish community. He's being respectful to them. As they say, it is a Jewish matter. It's looking more and more like Jack the Ripper is a Jew. Mitre Square. Mitre Square, the Imperial Club.
Ah, there's the Imperial Club. Let's see if I can find Joseph Chaim Levy. Hello, sir.
Hello. Can I help you, sir?
Indeed. I have an urgent message for Mr. Joseph Levy, the Aldgate butcher.
Oh, I regret, sir, but Mr. Levy is not at the club at present. You can wait for him if you wish.
I thank you. Do you know where I can find him? His home address, perhaps? It is a very urgent matter.
I am sorry, sir, but we do not give out information regarding the club members to people outside the group.
I understand. I must find a way to enter the Imperial Club without having to go through the entrance hall.
Should be a way in somewhere else.
There's a cellar window behind this barrel, which is preventing me from passing. There's a cellar window behind this barrel, which is preventing me from passing.
Yeah, I know. I clicked on that. You dumb. Was there something inside I could have gotten? Or we can use that maybe.
I will need a pivot.
Okay. A pivot.
There we are. My pivot is in place. Now, let's find something to tip over this barrel. I should be able to make it tip over. Closed. The cellar window is locked from the inside by a simple iron hook.
Okay.
coal. It's a service door and firmly locked. There must be a stockroom in the cellar beneath this room. If I can just get into the coal cellar, I shall be in the place.
Right. Maybe there's something inside. I feel like there might be something inside that I missed.
This may come in handy.
Ha ha ha.
Let's go. Good. Let's try to find the exit that leads to the club. This may come in handy. Closed. Empty tin cans. The kitchen. It's closed, and besides, I won't find what I'm looking for in there. Administration. Perfect. This must be where the information on club members is kept. Administration.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Oh.
This must be where the information on club members
Maybe
is
it's the
kept.
key.
Let's hope that it really is the key to this door. Administration. Perfect. This must be where the information on club members is kept. This must be the club's safe. What I'm looking for is probably inside. I need something. A page from an old Yiddish-English dictionary. Court's proceedings. Curious.
Judgment, New Court, Tuesday, April 6, 1886. They try to handle their own cases within their own community. Before Mr. Recorder 419, Morris Phillips 30, Moss Wolf 16, and Jacob Levy 30, stealing 14 pounds of meat of Hyman Sampson, the master of Phillips and Wolf. Mr. Clore prosecuted. Mr. Moiser appeared for Phillips, Mr. Black for Wolf, and Mr. Georgian for Levy. Samuel Bacon, City Policeman 941. I received information from my inspector, and on 10th March at 6:15 a.m. I was watching the prosecutor's shop. Phillips came up to the door and knocked, got answered, and went away. About 2 minutes afterwards, Levy came out at his shop door, which is next door. A post divides them. The knocked at Mr. Sampson's door, and he knocked at Mr. Sampson's door and went back in at his own door. Came out again in a minute or two, unscrewed the bolt of his shutter bar, and then looked around. Knocked at Mr. Sampson's door again. Then, being no answer, he went down the street 10 or 12 yards to the corner of Stony Lane. Phillips joined him. They conversed and went back to Mr. Sampson's door. Phillips knocked, and Levy went in at his own door. The door was opened. Phillips went in and turned up the gas. Levy came out of his shop and went into Mr. Sampson's shop, where he had a conversation with Phillips. He came back in about a minute and went into his own shop, where I saw Wolf, who brought a piece of meat from the back of the shop to the door and hung it on a hook just inside the door, and then came out of the footway, looked round, took the meat off the hook, and took it quickly in at Lewis's door and gave it to Lewis. He then returned to Sampson's shop. I ran into Levy's shop, caught hold of him with the meat in his hand, and asked what he was going to do with it. He said, "We were only having a lark. I'm going to weigh it." I said I did not believe it. I should take him to Mr. Sampson, which I did, and then took him to the station, where he repeated that it was only a lark. I found 32 pounds 10s9d in his pocket. The meat was 14 pounds of beef. I had been watching since 5:15. It was perfectly light outside at 6:15, but not inside Levy's shop. There being no gas, cross-examined by Mr. Black, I was in some buildings opposite, lying among some bricks and rubbish, but not within hearing distance. I could not see who opened the door, as the shutters were not down, but Phillips turned the gas up afterwards. We were both in plain clothes. Wolf sleeps on the premises. James Jones, City Policeman 935. I was with Bacon. I have heard his evidence and corroborate it. I went into Sampson's shop and saw Phillips and Wolf. I told them I was a police officer and should take them in custody for stealing a piece of beef. Phillips said, I know nothing about it. I came from the back of the shop. Wolf said, I know nothing about it. I took them to the station. Cross-examined by Mr. Black. Wolf did not say, I know nothing about it. I correct myself. He made no reply. Cross-examined by Mr. Georgian. I did not go into Levy's shop, nor did I see in, as the shutters were up. They may have been a quantity of meat in the background. There may have been. Hyman Sampson. I am a butcher of 35 Middlesex Street. Phillips and Wolf were my servants. Phillips about 3 months and Wolf about 2 or 2.5 years. I had spoken to the police, and on 10th March about 5 o'clock I went to market. I was sent for and came back and found the 3 prisoners in custody. The policeman asked Levy what he intended to do with it. He said that the boy brought it in for a lark and then said, Mr. Sampson, you are not going to do anything with me. The meat was worth 7s. Cross-examined by Mr. Moyser. Phillips slept at the shop on Wednesdays and Thursdays. This was Wednesday morning. He would sleep away from the shop on Tuesday nights. Cross-examined by Mr. Black. I discharged Wolf once and took him back again. I had a place in Goldston Street for 19 years. I know Binwell, a butcher. I took Wolf from his employment. I never asked for a character. He was only a little boy. I've never found fault with him before. Cross-examined by I've been calling him Georgian, but I think it looks like Joe Kagan? I don't know. Levy was there before I came. He has not taken customers from me. I have no animosity against him. I've met him out of business hours. This was not the best meat at 6D a pound. I have some at 11D. Levy has never chaffed me and said that his meat was better than mine. He buys from the same killers I do. I sell more expensive meat than he does, but there has been no joking about it, nor did we ever bet about it. The Jewish authorities will not give a man a license unless he has an excellent character. I have accused my wife of robbing me. I did not find out that she had a separate banking account. I did not accuse her before Phillips came into my service. I may have said at the police court that I accused her 12 months ago. I have not said that if Levy would lease this shop, I would not carry on the prosecution against him. I would not let him offer 10,000 pounds. Re-examined at 6:15 a.m. My 5 employees were on the premises. Levy received a good character. Phillips not guilty. Wolf guilty, recommended to mercy by the jury. 4 months hard labor. Levy guilty of receiving 12 months hard labor. So this Levy, who is probably related to Joseph Levy, who we are trying to look for, he was found guilty of something by the Jewish court for stealing meat.
Some square metal tokens. Curious. There is a document.
Sir, I wanted to let you know that if your club needed kosher meat when you have any special functions, I would be available to furnish it for you, guaranteed by a compliment abattoir. It will be delivered directly to your society at a time that is convenient. Reasonable prices. Do not hesitate to call upon my services. Jacob Levy. Refused on the advice of Joseph Chaim Levy. Someone offering kosher meat. But he was refused because his brother, I'm assuming that's his brother, told them not to. Maybe he has an understanding of where this Jacob Levy possibly got this meat. Oh, the plot thickens.
There must have been litigation between Joseph Chaim Levy and Jacob Levy.
I think they're brothers. They might be cousins or whatever, for all I know. That's not important? That looks important. I don't know. Alrighty.
This must be the club's safe. What I'm looking for is probably inside. The lock on this chest is very sophisticated. Let's see.
Okay, so this is a puzzle that you see in Nancy Drew. as well. You basically just put them on the grid and they just need to match up. And you can't rotate them, thank God. Or at least I don't think. Alright, so I'm gonna look for a symbol on that side. Okay. Then I'll look for a P. No. No, okay. Let's try this one. This is gonna take a little while. A couple of tries. Da, 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 da. No. 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 Oops. I didn't mean to do that. No. Did we try this one yet? Da, 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 da. Oh. Okay, no. Okay, so not that one. Kind of look like a whale. Whale? I don't see that symbol anywhere else. That probably means it's on this side somewhere. No. 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 Oh, we got it.
Elementary.
Elementary.
I need something.
Yiddish dictionary.
These documents contain some words in
Oh,
Yiddish,
no.
which reads from right to left.
Right to left. Okay. We know from Kabbalah the power of gematria that enables us to count everything in the world, seen and unseen. Thus we know that Lester counts as 439, and he is blessed because 439 is also that, which means the man of God. Dear Joseph, I did the counting of names for our club members, which is as follows. Mr. Bath is 403, Bet 2, Alf 1, and Thaw 400. Mr. Hammer is 356, Hay 5, Alf 1, Mem 40, Mem 40, Ain 70, and Reesh 200. Sincerely yours. P.S. Please tell Mr. Mural that provided his name is spelled as that, He is 346. I have no idea what we're trying to do. I have no sweet clue what we're trying to do. Maybe that's E. Oh, wait. That means it's right. I think that green means it's right. That's helpful. Oh my gosh, that's so helpful. I'm just guessing. Oh my goodness. I have no idea what any of this means, but I'm just matching up the numbers with the alphabet. I don't know. I don't know. This symbol is a 6, so I'm like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, that one's wrong. Okay, that's where my guesses fail. I don't know. I don't know. I have no sweet clue how to do this puzzle. I don't know what we're looking for. You know? I don't understand what the numbers mean. I don't know. I don't want to have to guess. I don't know what we're trying to spell here. I don't know. If H is 5, A is 1, M is 40. I don't know. We're looking for 30. What letter would represent 30? Lester. Is it an S? No. Well, I just thought because this symbol is here, it would be an S. Leste. Okay, that doesn't really. It's here too. Is it an L? No. It's not M, because M is 40. I'm assuming that it's... I don't know what letter that's supposed to be. Oh wait, I'm looking at the wrong one. I'm supposed to be looking at this one. 6. Oh. I don't know. What would equal 6? What letter equals 6? E would make the most sense to me. Oh, or F. But no. What letter is that? I don't know. 6. L. Oh. N O P Q R S T U U. Oh. Oh, all together. That would be. Oh, okay, okay. Okay, well, this one's a 30. E is I don't know. We don't know what L is. Maybe that's an L. It is. Okay. And then this symbol. Oh, I was thinking that would be an L too. 40. Oh, it's an M because it's the value of 40. M. Okay. And then this one. I don't know what letter that is. It's not an L. Oh, it reads from right to left. Oh. So then that would be an E. And then that letter. M-U-R. It would be an R.
Excellent.
All
now,
right.
on to the
I figured
next
it out
step.
in the end. Oh, man. Okay, so we want to look up Joseph Levy. Or Levy. Born in Aldgate, 1841. Membership, April 14th, 1887. Home address, 36 Middlesex Street. Aldgate. Profession, self-employed butcher at 1 Hutchinson Street, Aldgate. Dues, 10 shillings, 6 pence, April 14, 1887. 11 shillings, April 15th, 1888.
Here we are. I have the address of this Joseph Hyam Levy, 36 Middlesex Street. Now, let's try to get out of here without being seen.
I wonder if we could have
This may come in handy.
I wonder if we could have looked at Joseph. Or Jacob. Was Jacob even on there? I don't know. I don't know why we need to do
something.
This. I don't know why it's necessary that we...
Closed.
Why can't we just leave the way we came?
Blast! My exit has been sealed off. The barrel was replaced. I'll have to find another way.
You're gonna make a loud noise. Da, 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 da. Okay.
I need something. Now let's quickly hide in administration.
I don't think that was loud enough. Okay.
Let's visit Joseph Levy at 36 Middlesex Street.
Alright, you ready? there's so many different places. It's in the zone.
Here I am in Middlesex Street. Let's find number 36.
Number 36.
Hello, sir. What do you want?
Hello, Ma'am. I would like to speak with Mr. Levy. Do you know if he's in?
I am Mrs. Levy, his wife. He's not arrived yet.
Do you know when he'll be in?
Oh, no idea. You know, he works at the butcher's and helps at the slaughterhouse. It often happens that he doesn't come in until early morning and then leaves right away.
Well, listen, as soon
He's
as your
out all
husband
night,
Joseph
huh?
returns, tell him that
My husband isn't called Joseph.
you aren't the wife of Joseph Hyam Levy.
No, of course not. I'm the wife of Jacob Levy. Mr. Hyam Levy used to live here with his parents, but he moved.
Mommy, who's the man that you are talking to?
But this poor child has syphilis. He carries the mark on his face.
Leave us, children. Go back inside with your brothers and sisters.
Yes, Mother.
I think we just figured out
As
who
I was
Jack the
saying,
Ripper is.
Mr. Hyam Levy doesn't live here. He works in a butcher's near Aldgate, but I don't know exactly where. But if you find him, he will surely live next door. Butchers always live near their work.
Could you possibly
They
give him a
certainly do.
message on my behalf?
I don't see him often, and, well, even though we know him, we aren't on friendly terms, you see?
Is he bothering you, Mommy?
No, Simon, not at all.
It's a handsome boy you have. It's strange that he has light hair.
He takes after his father. Strong, with light hair.
Wait, he sounds familiar to me. A man of about 50 years old, very big, at least 6 feet tall, and left-handed, correct?
You are mistaken yet again. My husband is only 32 years old, no taller than 5'3", and he's right-handed.
Obviously, there are many Levies in the area. I will leave you, and I pray that you will excuse the disturbance. Perhaps we will have the pleasure of meeting again. Farewell, Ma'am.
Goodbye, sir.
Look who it is.
Daddy!
I must return to Baker Street. Let's go to Baker Street.
I think we just met the devil himself.
Well, Watson, not looking so good.
Whose fault is that, Holmes? If you hadn't shown me your masterpiece in clay.
Some actions have much larger repercussions than would be assumed at first glance. Listen, Watson, in a few minutes I will leave Baker Street in order to meet Jack the Ripper and put an end to his crimes. Beforehand, I want to go over all our discoveries to assure myself that everything is clear.
Jack the Ripper? You know the identity of Jack the Ripper?
Without a shadow of a doubt, Watson, and I assure you that we are in possession of all the elements required to determine who Jack the Ripper is. Would you like to do this work with me?
I would love to.
Well, we are still missing certain information in order to finish this investigation, Watson.
Time to make some deductions. Though I can't read them. Jack the Ripper offered a gift to each of his victims before killing them. Jack the Ripper claimed something of his victims before killing them. The victims knew each other and had something in common. No, Jack the Ripper claimed he distracted them. We determined all of these already beforehand in previous episodes. The Whitechapel Killer, something, the Whitechapel Killer. Oh my goodness, I can't read it. The resolution on the screen makes this not easy to read at all. Let me go back to the walkthrough here. Okay. The Whitechapel killer proceeded in the same way. It's the same man who killed P. Nichols and A. Chapman. It's the same man who killed L. Stride and K. Edos. Jack the Ripper possesses great physical force. Jack the Ripper definitely killed Nichols, Chapman, Stride, Edos, and Kelly. Okay. And, let's see. I can't tell which one's which. The same butcher knife was used in the crimes against Nichols, Chapman, Stride, Edos, and Kelly. I think that's what this says. So we determined that he committed all the murders. They're all committed by one person. And this one says M.J. Kelly, Mary Jane Kelly is her name. M.J. Kelly's murderer has knowledge of anatomy. Okay, and all this together. Maybe I should read this. The murderer cut open Polly Nichols' throat. I don't know which one that one is. Oh, this one. A. Chapman's killer used a weapon of great size. A. Chapman's killer wanted to decapitate her. The knife blade used in L. Stride's murder was thin. K. Edos' murder knew anatomy. Oh, no, that one. The murderer opened K. Edos' abdomen like that of an animal. And then M.J. Kelly's murderer has knowledge of anatomy. The same butcher knife was used in crimes. Where did the one? The Whitechapel killer is or was a butcher. So I should go back to the top one and read these to you. P. Nichols' murder took place on the premises. P. Nichols was strangled. P. Nichols had her bonnet in her hand. I don't know which one that is. L. Stride was holding a pocket of pastels. I don't know which one that is either. Well, that one's weird. K. Edos' murderer is unfeeling and organized. K. Edos and L. Stride's murderer may be one and the same. The Whitechapel killer had time to kill L. Stride and K. Edos. M.J. Kelly had her throat slit the same way as the other victims. A. Chapman's murder took place on the premises. A. Chapman's murder is unfeeling and organized. A. Chapman was strangled and then her throat slit. A. Chapman was holding an envelope in her hand. K. Edos held a thimble in her hand. Jack the Ripper diverted the attention of his victims before killing them. And then the Whitechapel killer proceeded in the same way. P. Nichols' killer is a strong man. L. Stride's killer is a strong man. It's the same man who killed P. Nichols and A. Chapman. It's the same man who killed L. Stride and K. Edos. Jack the Ripper possesses great physical force. Jack the Ripper definitely killed Nichols, Chapman, Stride, Edos, and Kelly. Okay. So this one... Okay. Let's see. Frame 3 of 5. K. Edos' liver and lungs underwent small incisions. Is that one? A. Chapman's uterus was removed and taken. And this one says K. Edos' uterus was removed and taken. Okay. So then this one says there is no organ trafficking in London. This one says M.J. Kelly's heart was removed in the same way as the other murders. M.J. Kelly's lungs were subject to incisions. And Many of M.J. Kelly's organs are detached. And all this put together, we come to the conclusion that the killer wanted to verify the health of his victims. I can't read which one. And Jack the Ripper removed the victim's organs when he could. Alright, 4 out of 5. Why can't... Okay. The murderer stole A. Chapman's rings. The murderer searched A. Chapman. The murderer searched K. Eddowes. Is P. Nichols' murderer right-handed or left-handed? A. Chapman's killer must be right-handed. L. Stride's killer is right-handed. And K. Eddowes' murderer is right-handed. And then this one says A. Chapman's rings are worthless. And this one says the wounds on K. Eddowes' neck reveal that the murderer is right-handed. And all this together, we get the conclusions that the murderer was looking for money or objects of value. The Whitechapel killer is poor. And Jack the Ripper is right-handed. And the last one. A piece of K. Eddowes' white apron was cut out. The Whitechapel killer left a message accusing the Jews in Golston Street. Oh no, nope, that's this one. K. Eddowes' nose was disfigured. K. Eddowes' eyelids were cut. K. Eddowes' cheeks were slashed to become thinner. And then syphilis deforms the patient's face. The Whitechapel killer left a message accusing the Jews in Goulston Street. K. Eddowes' a piece of apron was found in Goulston Street near the message accusing the Jews. And M.J. Kelly was disfigured. And all this together makes us come to the conclusion that Jack the Ripper has a score to settle with the Jewish community. Jack the Ripper wanted to give his last victims the appearance of syphilis, which means Jack the Ripper was confronted with syphilis.
Perfect, Watson. Let's determine who Jack the Ripper is, Watson.
Let's do it. Where's the... Oh, right here.
Thus, we have 5 suspects. Let's add the elements that correspond to each of them.
Though most of them aren't real suspects. You pretty much know who it is at this point. Jack the Ripper was confronted with syphilis. So now they're all right-handed. Okay. So now we need to put this under the suspect where it applies. So which of these people have been affected by syphilis? Hardman has been affected by syphilis. As far as we know... Oh, and of course, Jacob Levy, his kids, has syphilis. The Whitechapel killer is poor. Hardiman is poor. Levy is poor. And I don't know, is he poor? I don't know if that counts. The Whitechapel killer is or was a butcher. James Hardiman is a butcher. Jacob Levy. I feel like it's Levy or Levi or something. He was once a butcher. Jack the Ripper has a score to settle with the Jewish community. I can only think of one where that's relevant. Maybe Abraham? Jack the Ripper possesses great physical force. That's Tumblety. Levy. Oh. The murderer has workman's clothes. Oh. It tells you if it's wrong? Oh, interesting. That's counterintuitive. Jack the Ripper lives in the ward of Aldgate. The murderer is 5 feet 3 inches tall. I don't know how you would know this one. Of anybody else. The murderer has light-colored hair and mustache. Nope. Jack the Ripper is right-handed. Oh, okay, so now we're missing something. Oh my goodness. Jack the Ripper is right-handed. Jack the Ripper was confronted with syphilis. Okay, so it's not that one. Poor. Oh, there we go. We got him. So who fits them all? Jacob Levy.
And there you go, Watson. Jacob Levy, Jack the Ripper.
Fantastic, Holmes. And terrifying. But some aspects of this case are still unclear, at least for me.
For example, Watson?
Why does the man only kill prostitutes?
The man kills prostitutes because he blames them for the misery of his life. He must have frequented them assiduously, and during these nocturnal visits, he contracted syphilis, which he passed on to his spouse, and via her, at least one of his children. He is an angry man in despair following a mistake that cannot be fixed.
Why does he only kill such miserable prostitutes?
They're the only
He
ones
never
he can
had the
afford.
means to afford prostitutes of higher standing than Nichols, Chapman and the others. At one point in his life he was forced to steal to make ends meet. This indiscretion cost him dearly. He was imprisoned and exiled from his community. He had frequented low-class prostitutes, thus it was they who infected him and they who must pay.
But why did he remove the organs?
To take vengeance on his own community, which rejected him and had more success than he. He is a man who bore the burden of a sinister reputation, that of a thief and a madman, because of his internment. So he took his vengeance in the most cowardly and horrific manner imaginable. He rubbed his knife on the uterus of a sick prostitute before using it. He passed Edow's kidney off as a veal kidney.
That's disgusting.
Why did he disfigure the faces of the last two victims?
So he caused the
Revenge,
Jews
yet
to
again, Watson. This is
go
what you did
against
to my
kosher
child.
and
You
to
will
eat
suffer the
human
same
organs.
fate.
And the piece of apron and the message at Goulston Street?
The only reason to have placed the piece of apron incriminating the message and attracting attention towards himself is that the people that Levy holds responsible for his arrest live in this building. The butcher's where he committed the theft is found in Goulston Street, and the majority of the butchers who denounced him surely live close to their workplaces.
But finally, Holmes, why didn't his wife or anyone else notice anything?
His wife has many children and must be very busy. The man is a butcher, which must facilitate things when one is questioned by the police in the street and must justify the bloodstains on oneself.
In the late
Furthermore, butchers
hours.
often work during the night as the meat must be sold fresh each morning. His nocturnal absences were easily justifiable. Finally, he works in the butchers or slaughterhouses. Nothing could be more simple than slipping a kidney in here and using a knife oiled with human blood there.
This story is frightful, Holmes.
Indeed, Watson. Lies, infidelity, venereal disease, murder, mutilation, and finally cannibalism. A complete anthology of what humans at their most vile are capable.
Let's go at once to Whitechapel and put this madman where he can do no more harm, Holmes.
Let's, Watson.
But he has a different idea of justice. Oh, we're finishing this. We're right at the end here.
I do believe we are not alone.
Yep.
I hope these men
We
won't
brought
prevent us
some
from passing.
strong
Me?
Jewish
no.
men.
But you, yes, Watson. Your journey ends here tonight.
And it's very important that it
You're
does.
sometimes a little hot-headed. Moreover, Mr. Solomonovich has a few things to tell you. I won't be long.
Yeah.
You can come in, Mr. Holmes. He's waiting for you inside. Everything was organized according to your instructions. I don't know how to thank you.
Later. Dr. Watson is awaiting an explanation from you.
Watson can't go in and witness this because Watson might write about it. First murder. Second murder. Where's the message on the wall? It must be Catherine Eddowes. I don't think they're going through all the murders. He might not even count Liz Stride in his mind because he was interrupted. Removing the heart from Mary Jane Kelly. But then if Sherlock had discovered who Jack the Ripper was, how is it that the community doesn't know who Jack the Ripper
Holmes,
is?
have you the slightest idea what you are doing?
I think so, Watson.
Leaving this bloodthirsty pervert at liberty and hiding his existence from the London police? What folly!
He chose not to tell anybody who Jack the Ripper
Certainly,
is.
the police will never find their man, but with so many men deployed, this affair will indirectly have a benevolent effect on the crime in the vicinity.
But Holmes, wait! Justice hasn't been served, and we are accomplices to the fact.
Justice? But I don't serve justice, Watson. I serve truth. And, incidentally, I serve my country, and I don't think that I have ever served it better than today. Imagine if after months of terror and a murder as abominable as that of Miller's Court, we deliver to the English people a man of the Jewish faith, a journeyman and head of family as the guilty party. A man who forced members of his own people to eat human flesh. All of this contained tension would have exploded in a myriad of anti-Semitic acts which would have thrown Whitechapel into a rage of fire and blood. And this man's family, who are completely innocent and have suffered more than their lot, would have been the first in the line of sight. Should we condemn an entire people to shame and promise them 1,000 wounds because one of their members committed an unmentionable crime? Neither I nor you have the right to do so. Jacob Levy, Jack the Ripper, is now in the hands of his own people. I have complete faith in Mr. Solomovich and the members of his community who, I remind you, courageously helped us. They took great risks and acted with the most salutary discretion. And, oh yes, it is understood that you cannot chronicle this investigation. It would be best to invent a story that takes us far from London during the somber period, in pursuit of, let's see, something challenging.
A ghostly dog that glows in the night. That's
Don't be ridiculous, Holmes.
Or the
But
Hound
what
of
will
the
happen now?
Baskervilles.
The
Always
police
get that
will
mixed up.
endure a serious setback and a real loss of credibility. And this man?
Well, a few months after the murders have ceased, the police commission, finding themselves at an impasse, will come up with a story to tell, and everyone will vow that they know the secret identity of the killer without having the right to reveal it. As for Jacob Levy, Jack the Ripper, he will be imprisoned by his own people. He will pace like a lion in its cage until the end of his days, haunted by his crimes and his insatiable vengeance, until finally the disease which drove him to kill those poor women will finish its work and make him its final victim.
The murder of Mary Jane Kelly was Jack the Ripper's last crime. On July 29, 1891, Jacob Levy died of a general paralysis caused by syphilis. In the same year, 1891, the police filed away the case for good without explanation. For the general public, the mystery remained unsolved. Jack the Ripper's shadow roams forever in Whitechapel's alleys. Yay! So good. So Sherlock had his reasons for not revealing the identity, but honestly, if he had, then, because I always wondered that when I started playing this game for the very first time, I thought, are we ever going to figure it out? Because we don't figure it out in real life. I'm so happy that they do figure it out in the game. Jacob Levy really was a suspect of hundreds of suspects that they had. I mean, it goes all the way up to the royal family, figuring out who Jack the Ripper was. We don't really know legitimately, but I think they make a very good case for Jacob Levy. But I wondered, how are we going to solve this if this case was never solved in real life? Well, they picked somebody, had Sherlock say, I'm not going to tell anybody that it was him, and that's the reason that nobody knows that it was actually Jacob Levy. It satisfies me, anyway. It's so good, yay! It's wrapped up neatly in a tight little package. It's very nice. So good. That is my favorite Sherlock Holmes game to this day. Although I haven't played the most recent one, so The Devil's Daughter. That's the only one I haven't played. Right? I think so. I think that's the only one I haven't played, and which I will play on stream when we get there. So the next one is The Testament of Sherlock, which I have played, but I will play with you guys. Crimes and Punishments, we'll play after that, and then The Devil's Daughter. So only 3 games left. Exciting, very exciting. And then after that, I don't want to make any promises for what I would do after that. I think I want to play A Plague's Tale, though. I think that's what I want to do for the channel after that. So yeah, so good. The puzzles are good, except for that stupid map. I've never had that much trouble with that puzzle before. I don't know. But the puzzles are good, the clues are good. Just, you really like use your brain juice, but not to the point that it's obnoxious. And the storytelling. That's what I'm in it for. I play any game for the storytelling mostly. I really like the storytelling. I like all the clues when it all just comes together real nice. That's what I like. Yeah. We're gonna let the credits roll here. We would like to thank our fans and players. Without you, we won't be here today. We wouldn't be here today. Oh. All the game boomers. Casebook Jack the Ripper. The characters and events in this game are based on one of many theories of who Jack the Ripper really was. This game is based on theory rather than fact. The views expressed in this game are not those of its developer, publisher, manufacturer, any licensor, or any person involved in the game. No representation or warranty is given concerning the accuracy of any information in this game. All reference to persons living or dead and their acts and related events is theoretical and coincidental and should not be taken as fact. This game is not endorsed by or associated with any third-party author, character, company, film, game, book, or other work. All trademarks are the property of their respective owners. Disclaimer, as you would give, because it's a real-life event. Is that it? Anything spooky? Okay. Alrighty. Awesome. Yeah, okay. So that is it. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the stream. I certainly did. Please leave a comment on this video, that comes out after the fact, if you liked it. Please leave a like on the video as well. And if you haven't already, click subscribe and click the bell notification icon so you can be notified the next time I live stream and the next time I upload. Thanks, Julia. Yes, I will be live streaming tomorrow at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time right here on YouTube. And I'll be having my Storytime Saturday where I'll be reading Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets Chapters 2 and 3. Follow me on Twitter. I give out information about my streams and uploads and things. Link in the description. And I think that's it. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a magical evening. Bye-bye.